Very good evening, friends. Again, meeting in the session of the Robert's philosophy, and we are discussing the chapter, the taking the case, and we are on concluding part of this chapter. Many things he has tried to explain, as explained by Hahnemann in his Organ of Medicine, and he has tried his level best to make it simplified. So, how the homeopathic physician should be? What are the qualities of homeopathic physician in order to take chronic case? How his approach should be in acute case and how approach should be in chronic case. What are the differences? Everything he tried to explain over there. So these are very important things. Sir, lecture. Sir. So he's explaining every aspect about it. What Hahnemann have explained from right from aphorism number 83 to 104. So this part of aphorism he is trying to elaborate in his philosophy. And we are on page number 80, the third paragraph which we have finished. That is the in chronic diseases, the general symptom plays a very vital role because generals are related to the individual, and with the help of those general symptoms, we have to understand the patient's remedy. So up to that level, we have learned. Let us go again further. The third paragraph, the aggravation, the periodicity, the seasonal aggravation, weather aggravations as to sun, wind, cold, dry, wet, fog, etc. Changes of weather as cold to warm or warm to cold. Changes of weather as before, during, or after storms, such as thunderstorms, rain, snow, etc. The tendency to develop certain conditions, such as tendency to take cold, sore throats, headaches, etc. The reactions to the fresh air, such as craving for or an aggravation from. Reactions to position in rest or in action, such as aggravation by walking or amelioration lying with arms raised. These reactions in relation to position include also riding in trains, in cars, in vessels. Conditions of appetite and the cravings or aversions or of aggravations from certain foods. The effects of vaccination or serum treatment, reactions to bathing, effects of altitude, seashore, or mountain, the amount of clothing required during the day or and at night, the rapidity with which wounds heal, if the patient is subject to hemorrhages, the reactions of patients to the presence of others, whether he prefers to be alone or in company, or whether aggravates being alone or in assembly, the sides affected. So he has given multiple examples, which are the points which are essential in order to understand the patient, the individuality. Because modalities are very important, which defines exactly the nature of the person, because they are related to the person as a whole. So modalities are very important things which one has to understand. Then the relation with the environment, relation with the season, relation with the times, relations with the day and night. Then certain conditions where whether he likes company, whether he wants to remain alone, all things matters. Here the individuality is hidden. Every person is different, and that's why his nature is different. Some people likes to be alone, some people always likes company. They never tolerates alone. Some people are frightful to remain whenever they are alone, and that's why they desire the company. Some people desire the company only because they want to show their identity, their leadership. So there are many more things which one has to understand. And all those things gives you an individuality of that specific individual. So what are the common things which you can ask? The examples are mentioned over there. It is not only that these are the only things which you have to ask. These are the examples with which you can approach. So in this way, you have to think about the individuality of the person, and that's what he has explained over there. How about the thermic reactions of the patient? Is he hot or cold in general, or under varying circumstances? If there are variations of temperature, do they involve the whole or part of the body? Is his skin moist or dry? If he perspires, under what conditions? Freely or scantily? All over or only in certain parts? Is the perspiration offensive, exhausting, greasy, heat or cold? Is he better or worse during or after? How is the sweat related in time to the chill or and heat? Is the chill or heat partial or general? Is there shivering of part in or in general? Does this occur with or without chill? Is there thirst? In what relation of time to the heat, chill, or sweat? So, if things are related with the fever, it is not just simple patient has fever. It's not the thing. You have to ask each and every detail. You have to go with the every stage of the fever and the conditions in which this chill gets aggravated, whether it is chill is associated with thirst or without thirst, whether at what time specifically the chill comes. So every aspect related with the chill state, related with the heat stage, related with the sweating stage is necessary to us. Here, the homeopathy is absolutely different than the rest of the pathies. We can differentiate one individual from another individual on those specific characteristic things. And that's why when you deal with the patient, you must be precise enough to get such type of information. If you get that information very clearly, it becomes simple for you to reach to the similar. And that's why many examples he is explaining over there in order to guide you how to approach towards the cases. And then he says, if we ask questions like this, won't it be leading questions? No, these are the these are not the questions. Kritika, this is not the question. These are the things which one must study, one must ask to the patient, not in the similar manner. Your duty should your whenever you are asking the to the patient, it is not like this. Whenever you have to ask regarding certain things, you have to ask, how is your chill? So it is not leading question which you have to build over there. These are the examples. What is needed for you, he is explaining. What defines the individuality, he is explaining. So every point related with that, he is trying to explain in that specific paragraph. So these are not the questions, sample questions. These are the questions which one must think while asking to the patient. Then he says, notes should be made of the aversions or and cravings, the type of sleep and dreams, the position of body in sleep, how the patient wakens from the sleep, or his condition after waking. With either a man or woman patient, the abnormalities of the sexual function should be noted. Then the strange, rare, peculiar symptoms should be sought out. So see, these are the very important things. These generalities plays very vital role. So cravings, aversions matters a lot. They are individualistic specifically whenever they are related with food. The sleep is also individualistic. The position in sleep plays very vital role because we have ample remedies where the position is mentioned. If you open the sleep chapter from the repertory and positions as the rubric, you will get maximum variety of positions and the remedies are mentioned. We can reach to the remedy on the basis of that, and that's why position of this during the sleep. Then how is the patient's reaction after the sleep? That is also an important thing which he explains over there. Then last question should be related with the sexual function, as he has very clearly explained in the fifth aphorism while explaining how to investigate a fundamental cause. And last point he has mentioned that sexual function is one must ask for. So because that is related with that specific individual, whether male or female, but these things are individualistic, and that's why one has to ask them. And then he further goes and says, I have left until the last mention of the essential part of the case taking, the comprehension of the mental symptoms. To a great extent, these are symptoms that must be observed from the attitude of the patient. What is explaining? To At the last, you start with the mental symptoms, and mental symptoms, it is not necessary to ask. Your observation plays very important role. How is the patient's attitude? You have to perceive the way patient takes the stance whenever he enters over there. Another reason for leaving these until the last is that during the examination, you have probably been able to get the confidence of your patient to a greater degree, and they will give you more fully their confidence. So when you deal with the patient and you come to the conclusion at that end time, you are damn sure regarding, yes, this is the point where one can go for asking regarding his mental state. Patient will then becomes familiar with you. Find if they are subject to hallucinations or fixed ideas, especially any fears that are persistent. So if patient has certain hallucination, he will not going to tell you directly on immediately after starting case. Once you make a confidence of the patient, then it is possible that patient starts explaining about such types of fears, such types of hallucinations, the fixed idea. Take into consideration, especially any fears that are persistent. Take into consideration the irritability or change in disposition. If you can, unearth traits of jealousy and absent-mindedness arising from grief, vexation, sudden joy are important. Absent-mindedness, these must be seriously considered. So you have to understand the traits, what are there in the patient, how he talks regarding the other persons. You can catch whether he's suspicious, whether he's jealous, whether he's absent-minded. All things matters a lot because those mental generals are very, very important because mental generals are specifically related with that individual specific. That gives you very clearly the individuality. If this must be seriously considered, sadness, elements from grief, vexation, sudden joy are important. Is the patient over insist upon minor details of life as to the scrupulous cleanliness, etc., or he is contrary true? So very, very important things, whether a patient is very fastidious or whether he is in obsession, all things matters a lot because those gives you his individuality. So nature of the person is very important thing and which you are able to grab during this examination. And at the end, when you start discussing about all those things, you can get the detailed information. Once you gain the confidence of the patient, patient talks regarding all their lacunas also, and those are essential for you to consider the remedy for the patient. Your patient should readily reveal many of these most important things to you if you have been tactful and have secured his confidence. So if you are able to catch his confidence, yes, patient will going to tell you all those things. I, I refer you to a wonderful questionnaire compiled by Dr. Pires Meads. Yes, this is a very good book, Art of Case Taking. That is a small booklet written by Dr. Pires Meads. It's a good one. This will assist you in securing the information you desire, and if you will study this carefully, it will be prove a valuable guide in directing your questioning after the patient has finished telling you all that all he thought was necessary to your treatment of the case. It is well to reiterate the instructions. Do not interrupt your patient while he is telling all he knows of his case, except insofar as he may require guidance to keep him to the subject in hand. The physician's questioning comes afterwards, and it is here that we must complete the picture of the case. So you can get all those things, all those mm, questions, and make a habit of preparing a question. How we can form a good question. If you are able to come to a right conclusion, it is quite easy to start with the case taking. And that's why the concluding paragraph was very important that it is well to reiterate the instruction, do not interrupt your patient while he is telling all he knows of his case, except insofar he may require guidance to keep him to the subject in hand. So this is very essential. When patient is narrating and you are getting the information and which is essential for you, don't disturb. Because the train of thoughts, if you disturb, then you don't get anything. If it is coming out fluently, let it appear so that you can get whole consideration about that patient and you can understand his remedy quite easily. But if he sleeps and then he goes to another subject, that it is necessary to bring him back. And last line, the physician's questioning comes afterwards. And it is here that we must complete the picture of the case. So last concluding part, he says that questionnaire starts later. First, it starts what the patient voluntarily tells you. Whatever he voluntarily tells you matters a lot. It gives you exactly the nature of the person, and that is more important because that is not asked. So questionnaire is the last part of your case taking when patient stops narrating his symptom. So here completes a very big practical part of organ of medicine, the taking the case from Robert's philosophy. Next lecture will start with the analysis of the case, next chapter from Robert's philosophy, where we'll learn how to analyze a case first and then analysis of the symptom. So that's all for today. Today evening we'll again meet at 8:15 with one's remedy, that is Kali bichromicum. So today very important syphilitic remedy we're going to learn in at 8:15 session. And tomorrow we'll also continue with both the sessions, the Organon and Matramica. On 1st of May, there will be no lecture. Okay. So thank you. If any query
Thank
is
you very
there,
much,
we
sir.
can. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good evening.